I don't know if you have seen this at all, but this has been going around. I thought it was funny because you didn't even know we were going to talk about this, and you already talked about how if the Bills and the Chiefs play, the ticket prices will be absolutely insane. So if that happens, the NFL's rigged, blah, blah, blah.
It's literally quadruple, dude. It's literally
This is obviously probably taken way out of context, but I think it's absolutely hilarious because Pat McAfee actually talked about this, and
the script is in.
It's just like a new thing that's starting to like unfold where a lot of people are starting to think like these bets are like Vegas knows so much, and like some of these weird calls are happening, and like some of these roughing the passers calls these refs are calling when it's really not, and like it comes down to the end of the game, and is it targeting, is it not? And then you got Trevor Lawrence post game say this.
Down 27. How did you do this, Trevor?
You couldn't write a crazier script. I mean,
That's it. You couldn't write a crazier script.
Well, listen, I'm going to say two things. Here's the reason everybody says the NFL is rigged now. Sports gambling got a hell of a lot easier. Yeah. And young kids are getting into sports gambling, which I think is sad. It can be a good lesson to me. It's just like drinking, okay? Some people start drinking when they're 15. Some people start drinking when they're 21. You should probably start when you're 21. But if you're starting younger, please be responsible. Do it responsibly. And the rest of your life, you can enjoy social environments where people are drinking. But if you start to develop a problem and you can no longer be in social environments while you're drinking, you just ruined it for yourself. And that fucking sucks. And now you probably got a real problem. And gambling can be the exact same way. My issue with it is I think sports gambling is becoming so easy and so prominent. Now people are throwing money on the games, and now people are really looking into the NFL's rigged. I don't think the NFL is any different than it's ever been. NFL, in my personal opinion, has always been rigged. People just notice it now because they're throwing serious money on it. I don't believe that the NFL is actually scripted and games are actually rigged. I don't think it's possible to rig touchdowns. Like, I can't make Derrick Henry break tackles. But here's what the NFL can do. And people who completely don't believe in this is the only thing that I believe the NFL can do. The NFL can persuade the referees to make calls. That's it. That's the only thing that they can do. They can say, hey, if you see a questionable call for the Bengals, don't call it. You see a questionable call for the Chiefs, call it. That's it. And it's as simple as that. And that can absolutely sway games.
Right. Yeah.
Let's take the Andrew Thomas false start. Okay. I'm not saying that game was rigged. I have no thoughts on whether that game was rigged or not. But Andrew Thomas clearly false started. All the Vikings defenders know that he clearly false started because it's clear as fucking day.
Yeah.
And so everyone stops playing, and then Danny Dimes throws a free touchdown to Isaiah Hodgins, and now the Giants go up by 7 or to 10, whatever they went up by. That's how you rig a game. Like you just tell the referees, don't call questionable calls on the Giants, do call them on the Vikings. Or the rigging is completely different. The rigging is like this. The NFL says, hey, we want these games to be high scoring. We want them to be exciting for the fans. So if they're down in the red zone, just don't call shit. Don't call a holding. Don't call a defensive pass interference. Or at least if it's really obvious, call it. But don't call the questionable ones. So now the referee's looking there and he's sitting and he sees it and he's like, yeah, just gonna let it go.
Right.
And nobody can stop him. And nobody can do anything about it. And then there's a touchdown. That's my personal opinion on it. I don't know if that's true. Obviously, every game could just play. And you know what? Referees are humans too, and I'm sure they make mistakes. But I tweeted out about the NFL being rigged once, and someone responded, and they said, imagine being an NFL player and some YouTuber tells you that your sport is rigged. Like, guys, I do not believe that the NFL players are in on a conspiracy to rig the sport. I just believe that the NFL can and does rig small occurrences that can change the scape of a game, but sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
The refs could be in the Chiefs' pocket the whole time, the Chiefs could still lose.
Right. Yeah, that was my biggest thing is like there's no possible way that everyone's involved. There's way too many moving parts. There's no way it's the refs, the coaches, the players, the broadcast crew. I don't know. There's no way that there's that many moving parts to it because a whole lot of shit would have already came out because you gotta, at the end of the day, you gotta make everyone happy if you're trying to like do something like that. And if you got all these people involved, someone's coming out and just being like, hey, NFL offered me X amount of dollars to call this game a certain way. There's no way that would happen. That's why it's hard for me to believe that it's rigged in any form because like you say, your point, if the refs are in it, unless they're just getting an absolute mega bag, but even then there's got to be a paper trail to that. And then it's like if the ref calls it and they're like, this is what you wanted me to do, and then the NFL's like, no, I wanted it this way, then it's a whole shit storm, then stuff's coming out.
That's a good point.
I don't know, it's just so hard. But then you see things like that false start happen or just little things you're like,
you ever seen a documentary where the referees,
was there NBA refs or was that NFL?
It was NBA.
Yeah.
It might have been NCAA. But they were point cheating.
Oh yeah, I know.
Like, they were literally cheating.
Yeah, I know. Like MLB baseball, all the there was a lot of stuff going on back in the day for calling baseball games. They're like doing hand signals so the pitcher, I don't know, something like that. But there's definitely some malarkey.
I don't know,
going on
when there's
sports.
money involved and there's gambling involved, I just strongly believe there can be cheating involved.
Well, and at the end of the day,
Addison said NFL is rigged as much as casinos. It could be.
At the end of the day, too, this is a entertainment, you know.
It's an entertainment industry.
Right?
Oh yeah, I know. Everyone says that. I guess it's true. Like they could, but yeah, I mean, sometimes you can't though. Like you can beat the rigging still.